It's a brand new day for our neighborhood Spider Man, and we think a big adventure's at foot. Let's talk about all the cool things that happened in this trailer. Welcome back to Collard Greens and Nerdy Things, your favorite one stop shop for all things nerdy. I am your host, King, and this is the greatest co host in all of New York City, JC3. And today it's Spider Man talk. Spider Man Brand New Day trailer just dropped with a lot of teasers, a lot of stuff in it, a lot to unpack. So that's what we're going to do today. So if you like what we do here and you like talking about Spider Man, you like talking about nerd content, we do that every week right here on the channel. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends so we can all join a community and talk about all the nerd stuff we love. But with no further ado, let's just jump in right into it. We're going to talk about a little bit today about our first thoughts on the trailer, and then we'll get into the speculation nation. Jay, hit us with your first thoughts.
Bruh, my goodness. I was really excited and hyped for this trailer. I've been anticipating it ever since Spider-Man Noir, where Spider Noir came out. But man, it's been like 5 years, I believe, since we've seen Tom Holland as our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. First, he was with Robert Downey Jr., then Mysterio, then Doctor Strange, and now, nobody knows him and he's all by himself. So we're truly seeing like the struggles of Peter Parker this time around as Spider-Man. I'm really here for it. Very excited for the trailer. Very action-packed. Lots of characters popping up in this movie. Other characters that we haven't seen in the trailer that we know are supposed to appear. I'm excited. I'm hyped, man. To list some of the characters, we got Zendaya coming back as Mary Jane. We got the Punisher coming into the fold, which is nuts. We also have some villains like or Scorpion, sorry, coming back from the Homecoming movie. So lots of like familiar faces coming up, but a brand new story that just asks us, what Spider-Man's been up to ever since he had to give up his what he wanted, give up what he wanted in the last movie.
It's funny you say that because he does make reference to that when he does the voiceover. He says, "Hey, I'm Peter Parker. You don't know me." But it seems like he's talking to Ned and MJ, kind of sending them a letter about who he is, even though they should know him, but he erased everybody's memory because something bad was going to happen. This was a great trailer. One, I love Tom Holland, love him as Spider Man, love this iteration of Spider Man, but we've got to really live with this Spider-Man and see things happen to him. And after the last movie, like you mentioned, he's left with nothing. He has no Aunt May. Uncle Ben, of course, is already gone. His friends and the people, the Avengers, the Guardians, all the people he worked with in the past, no one knows who he is. So he's starting fresh on a brand new day. And so I think we have a lot to cover in this movie because throughout the trailer, we see a lot of little hints and secret nods to different things, and it's all over the place. But I love the fact that Ned and MJ seem to be living their best life, and Peter's just kind of cyber stalking them, and it's causing him some emotional strife, let's call it, because he can't be there with them because they don't know who the hell he is. That leads to a funny part later on, but we'll talk about that in the end. Let's just jump into the biggest part, which is the speculation nation. There's a lot of things in this trailer and a lot of things to speculate on what could or could not happen in this upcoming movie. Jay, kick us off with some of your thoughts or speculations or where you think this movie could be going based on the breadcrumbs given by the trailer.
Well, based off what we've seen so far in the trailer, again, mentioning how the Punisher from before, we see that he makes his debut in the Spider-Man movie, but we're not really quite sure what he's there for. I don't believe that he's really there to protect Spider-Man in any way, but I feel like he might be there to protect someone else, possibly a character we haven't seen in the trailer just yet. But we have seen a little hint of some type of force that's bouncing back and forth between one person and the other. and there's some speculation going around that that could possibly be Sadie Sink's character, which could be Jean Grey, which I think we all know it. When if an X Men character shows up, Spider Man movie, I think it'll be pretty cool. I think that that's probably my favorite piece of speculation that's been going around lately because we're not sure who her character is. There's rumors it could be Mary Jane. There's rumors it could be Gwen Stacy. There's rumors that Punisher could be protecting just a whole different character that is her. We're not quite sure yet, but I am absolutely excited to find out.
Yeah, after you mentioned that, one of the things that I saw really leading up on the internet was everyone thinks Sadie Sink is going to be either Jean Grey, or there was a lot of rumor that she was going to be playing Frank Castle's niece, who plays a little bit of a role in the comics. Right now, the evidence is pointing a little more towards Jean Grey, a younger Jean Grey, which would be dope because in this world that we have so far, there is no Professor Xavier. There is nobody to hold back her powers like Professor Xavier does, was limit her powers or kind of lock them in her head when she's young. So we could be seeing a Jean Grey who is starting to come into her powers in a puberty era and is going nuts. That could be amazing. We have a lot of other things that are pointed to that also Spider-Man could be turning into Man Spider. Now, the evidence is kind of laid out by us seeing Peter fall off of a building without his web shooters and still shooting web, which means now he has gained the ability to organically create webs. And we also saw his room where it looks like, for the most part, he was cocooned. And in a voiceover, we hear a gentleman say that spiders have three phases that they go through. And one of them leaves them very vulnerable, which I think he's referring to that phase. And I'm hoping that the person voicing this ends up being Doc Connors. And I would love to see that. What's kind of your thoughts on some of the other little teasers we got in that?
Well, based off the changes that are going on with Peter Parker in this movie, when I saw his black eyes in the trailer, I instantly went to symbiote territory. I was kind of thinking that maybe, just maybe, this was a darker side of Peter Parker starting to brew up, given everything that he's lost and everything that he's had to sacrifice. We also see in the trailer that he's fighting who I believe could be the Hand, which I absolutely love because that's a deep cut from the Netflix Defenders series. If that little group is getting some shine, I'm all here for it. But in the trailer, it seems that he's getting stronger while fighting them. So either he could be Man Spider, or this could be the start of him turning into a Dark Spider-Man, which could also possibly give us, a better iteration of Venom down the line. I would love to see that.
And I think you're right on. My first thoughts when I saw the eyes were Black Venom. We did have a piece of the symbiote being left in the MCU universe when Tom Hardy was briefly there for a post-credit scene that would led to nothing. So maybe some of that symbiote finally made its way to New York. And the Hand for sure is definitely in that and confirmed. So there's a possibility that we could see Daredevil, Elektra, or some of the other characters that are more associated with the Hand. And we see Spider fighting Tarantula. We know Boomerang's going to be in this. We know, of course, like you mentioned, Scorpion's going to be in this. Will we get some Vulture? What else other characters will we get that might be from this universe that maybe we have not seen yet? Will this set up an Otto Octavius in the background, right? He maybe Peter's going to college at this point and he's going to start at maybe it's Horizon College instead of high, and maybe we'll actually meet his best friend Harry Osborn that we have not seen yet in the MCU. That would be amazing to introduce the Osborns and Oscorp. We have so many possibilities with this. But another cool thing that I wanted to point out, especially for the more casual viewers, there's quite a few scenes that you're going to see throughout this trailer that are one to one adaptations of comic pages, comic splashes. Where if you get a chance, go to our TikTok, Collard Greens TV on TikTok, and you can see a couple of posts that we posted up that show some of the side by side direct comic accurate splashes. I love that Marvel's starting to really do that. And one of them was the scene of him fighting Tarantula outside of that building. So, man, if they can do us that solid and give us the most comic accurate Spider Man we've ever seen, we'll love them forever. And there's so much in this trailer. Who knows what we're going to really get? A buddy of me and Jay's, who we worked with, mentioned that the poster that was created for the advertisement on the bottom of it has some interesting things. And one of them was a footprint of some Nike Dunks, which in the photo, he's not wearing those. But you know who always wears Nike Dunks as Spider Man? Miles Morales. Is there a world or an opportunity where the MCU could be adding in a backdoor to Miles Morales and at least showing us him? Maybe that's when he gets his powers. I would love that. We already had Donald Glover in the original Spider-Man 1 where he was his uncle. So, and he was the Prowler. So why couldn't that means Miles has got to be somewhere in the universe. That would be a fantastic thought.
I would absolutely love if they gave us a live action adaptation of Miles Morales in any movie and that this next trilogy of Spider-Man's going to give us. Any movie in this trilogy that we get, I would love to see a live action version of Miles Morales. I think that would be pretty cool. Also, I believe we're supposed to get Tombstone in this movie as well. And he's grown some popularity from the comics, of course, the video games, most recently in the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show, which we also reviewed on this channel. So I'm really intrigued to see how this character plays out, and also to see, yeah, I'm very excited to see what he does in this in the movie.
Absolutely. So let's kick it off with our final thoughts. I'll start off first. I'm really stoked. I'm a huge Spider Man fan. And of course, this version has been my personal favorite. Tom Holland is my Spider Man. So I'm excited to see what they're going to give us in this fourth iteration and giving us a little bit older Spider Man going into those middle years. But it would be a great time to have MJ firmly be Mary Jane or at least introduce a Gwen Stacy, another love interest. So I'm excited. If I was going to give it a rating, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Nothing's perfect, but I was really stoked and really excited. And what about you, Jay? Give us your final thoughts and take us home.
Like you, King, I'll give this trailer a 9 out of 10. It got me hype and excited for the next Spider-Man adventure that we're gonna go on. For my people, my nerds over in the comments, want to ask you guys real quick. So, when do you think, for that matter, that Bruce Banner will Hulk out? Do we think he'll Hulk out in this movie? Because we saw him in the trailer as well. But I'm assuming he's there to help Peter, get through whatever's going on with his body, the changes going on with him. But I think we all want to see him Hulk out. So do you guys think he will? We'll be here to cover that. Also, Daredevil just dropped yesterday, so we will be covering that on this channel as well. We got the Punisher special dropping in May, Spider-Man dropping in July, and this channel will be covering all of it. So thank you all for showing up. Please continue to like, comment, and share. And as always, stay nerdy, my friends.